Hello again, everybody. Second tickets here, my Atak Sportz for this Monday, June the 6th, 2016. Can't believe it's June already. Hope everyone had a good weekend and stayed a little dry, especially it was raining over here in Michigan over the last couple of days. Rain already this afternoon, but it stopped now, so hope it gets nice the next couple of days. As I start this video, of course, one of the biggest sports news of the weekend was the untimely death of Muhammad Ali, the age of 74, after battling Parkinson's disease, I think it was. He went into shock, apparently, and went to the hospital late Friday night. I was at a DJ gig, and I read that he was in the hospital. There was on life support, and his condition was critical. They thought it was going to be a small routine visit, but it turned out to be the last hospital visit you'd ever make alive, as they were dying that night. As many people know that watch this channel, I'm not the biggest boxing guy. I talk mostly wrestling and football and cage fighting. But you cannot deny that Muhammad Ali was a huge trendsetter, big icon in the world of boxing. Especially for a black fighter to come out like that, it was huge. It'd be a pop culture phenomenon. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Because I'm so pretty. I don't know the whole thing, but I saw a movie, Ali. I even got to be kind of in his presence. I was like 7 years old. I was at WCW, Halloween Havoc, 1994, Joe Louis Arena. He was attending that show. He was in attendance. So that was the only time I was in the same building as him for anything. That was good. Even though I was too young to know who the hell he was. So, and this comes especially a month after Prince's death. Lost the legend of music, now legend in boxing. They were both friends, too. A lot of pictures of them both together within the last couple of days. So rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Peace to him. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family, especially a UFC fighter who had to go on with his fight scheduled for UFC 199 under these circumstances. He fought violently. I think it was a draw. The guy in question was Kevin Casey, who's married to Muhammad Ali's daughter. Not Layla, but Layla's sister. Speaking of UFC 199, I was at a gig on Saturday night till about 11, so I got to see the co-main and the main. The two big title fights. I didn't get to see the other fights. That included Dustin Poirier knocking out Bobby Green. In the lightweight division, Dan Hendo, what could be one of his last fights, maybe, knocked the hell out of Hector Lombard, second round with a big kick and elbows. I haven't seen that yet, but I heard it was nasty. In the middleweight division, which actually got him the Performance of the Night honors, along with the winner of the main event. Max Holloway defeated Ricardo Lamas by unanimous decision. In featherweight, then of course the co-main and main, which I did see. The Bantamweight Championship was on the line as the trilogy between Uriah Faber and Dominic Cruz came to an end Saturday. It was an okay fight. It was a fight I like to say a phrase I say a lot when I talk about UFC stuff. There's in action, not much excitement, because Cruz is so elusive. Faber didn't do crap to him. Faber got the good shots in, but for every one shot Faber would do, Cruz would nail him with 20 punches in a row. Cruz was just dominant in this performance. In his first defense as the new champion after losing it due to injury, and then finally getting back, which he finally did earlier this year against TJ Dillashaw. Cruz in his first defense looked dominant against Faber. He was on a prowl, and Faber did try to take him down once, but that paid back big time. Took his own ass down, basically. So Cruz won by unanimous decision after 5 rounds. An okay fight, which was dominated by Cruz. So who could challenge him next? We shall see. I don't think anyone can beat Cruz. I thought the same for Luke Rockhold. After beating the crap out of Chris Weidman at UFC 193? No, 194. Yeah, UFC 194. Becoming the new middleweight champion. His first defense was against Michael Bisping. Unlike Cruz, who failed better in his first defense, as we all would soon see, Luke Rockhold was not well in his first defense. He had an ACL injury that he didn't admit to the days before the fight. And the fight was already changed to begin with because it was supposed to be Weidman's rematch. But instead, Michael Bisping took the slot. And he's never had a championship shot before. He got the opportunity because of Weidman's injury, especially following his big defeat over Anderson Silva, an incredible defeat of Anderson Silva. But Bisping took the opportunity head on and he embraced it. He took advantage of it. He was aggressive early on in the fight. He was going forward a lot, and then he got that big punch. Bang! Knocked Rockhold down, kept knocking him down to the ground, pounding on him, and we got ourselves a new welterweight champion. Middleweight champion. We have a new middleweight champion. We have a new middleweight champion, Michael Bisping. He's been in the UFC for a decade? Since he won the Ultimate Fighter 1 year, and he's been fighting for a title shot, and he finally got it. And like I said, he took advantage. And he avenged his loss. He lost to Rockhold before. But this time, Bisping won, and also won Performance of the Night honors, along with Hendo, with a big knockout. And the fight of the night was a prelim fight on Fight Pass. Marco Polo Reyes and Dong-Han Kim. Well, UFC 199 took the airwaves and dominated the news of UFC. A lot of news of other events kind of spoiled the festivities involving UFC 202 and, more importantly, UFC 200. Let's talk about UFC 202. Set to take place on August 20th. The fight that was supposed to be the main event of UFC 200, which got canceled because someone became a pussy when it came to publicity and now wanted to promote the fight, is finally happening at 203. Conor McGregor against Nate Diaz 2 will finally take place in August. The same day as NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Yes, it's happening, people, after rumors of it being taken down by Ticketmaster. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn is still happening on August 20th. So go head-to-head with McGregor Diaz 2. It all started with Diaz, his opponent McGregor, posted a retirement bullshit behind the fact he didn't want to promote the fight. There was even rumors he was supposed to fight in a weird combination, himself and Floyd Mayweather. But UFC was trying to work things out with McGregor, and they did. And McGregor and Diaz will finally fight unless McGregor pulls some bullshit again. The match will happen again on August 20th. So there you go. Now before then, we have UFC 200. McGregor was going to be a big draw for the card with him and Diaz. Big money. But after losing that fight, even with the new main event of Jones and Cormier 2, UFC still felt like they needed something big to sell the card. How about a former UFC fighter returning to the octagon for one night only? Brock Lesnar! Yep, we heard rumors about him returning. It was leaked by a reporter. Arani, who's leaking of the news of Lesnar's fight and the leakage of the McGregor-Diaz 2 fight happening right before it was publicly announced by UFC, got him banned for life from UFC for reporting it. It's kind of stupid. But despite that little news surrounding the situation with the news leaking, Lesnar attorney brought a lot of questions. What's the terms of his contract with WWE? He's currently signed with WWE. Well, from what Lesnar said in an interview today on SportsCenter, that he and WWE and UFC all came to terms when it comes to this fight. WWE understands the situation. They did release a statement saying that Brock Lesnar will still appear at SummerSlam. And when it comes to who instigated the return, Brock said it was me. Dana didn't call me, I called Dana. It's been 3 months ago, and it's taking some time for things to play out. But I just said, what are the chances of having Brock Lesnar on the card of UFC 200? And we got together. I'm still in a contract with WWE. You just go in and sit down and have a big blank conversation with the boss, Vince McMahon. It's simple. It's big business. It's billionaire business. And I'm big business, so why the hell would anyone want Brock Lesnar involved? Vince had 0 issues with him appearing for UFC for one night only. The company's even promoted the appearance. And he said that, in my mind and my heart, I never lost to a foe, never lost to an opponent. I lost to Diverticulitis. He lost a lot of fights in the last couple of days of his UFC career, including his last fight against Alistair Overeem. But it was Diverticulitis, which kind of harmed his career in UFC, which made him postpone the fight against Shane Coleman because of that. And that was the start of his health issues. But now he's back 100% and wants to fight in UFC one more time. The question also, besides what does WWE think, who? It was announced to be announced, or to be determined. Or as many fans would say, the TBD means to be destroyed. Will it be named just to get squashed? Or will it be one of Lesnar's previous opponents? Or maybe a new opponent? They're going with a new opponent. Mark Hunt will be the unfortunate one to face off against Brock Lesnar in the UFC for UFC 200. It's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to fare out. How is it going to make Brock look, and UFC look, and WWE look? That's going to be very interesting, but no matter who goes out of this situation alive, who wins out will be the fans. Seeing Lesnar one last time in UFC for UFC 200, taking place Saturday, July 9th. And while we're on the topic of WWE, let's get on down to my Raw preview. Before we get to that, I mentioned a little bit about NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. NXT TakeOver is this Wednesday, and there will be a review on this channel. It's supposed to be called Revenge, then called The End, sparking speculation of NXT ending following the brand split. Even furthering the rumors was NXT TakeOver tickets for Brooklyn was listed on Ticketmaster, but then taken down, sparking rumors of the cancellation of TakeOver Brooklyn too. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, Brooklyn's TakeOver will still happen. The tickets will go on sale this weekend, then make new logos. So there you go. Now on to my Raw preview as we head towards Money in the Bank in 2 weeks. With your top 5 questions that must be answered tonight. Question number 5, where we'll go down to situations involving the women's title and the U.S. Championship. Well, we had some feuds starting in those divisions, with Dana Brooke and Charlotte having opposition, as Natalya and Becky Lynch are teaming up together against these two. Because it made sense. Because before Emma got injured, Dana Brooke and Emma were feuding with Becky Lynch to look for a partner to the untimely injury of Emma. So now that Emma's been replaced by Charlotte, they're going to continue both the Becky Lynch feud and Natalya feud, especially until they can bring back Sasha Banks if they don't think she's too injury prone to push, which hopefully won't derail her push, because she needs one bad. And needs to still face Charlotte at SummerSlam. So we have that feud going. We have a feud going for the U.S. Championship. Rusev apparently starting a feud with Titus O'Neil of all people. Maybe it's somebody's way of bringing him back of that unfortunate suspension for pushing Vince McMahon during the Daniel Bryan farewell. That got him to miss WrestleMania. Maybe it's like, hey, it was a little mistake. We're going to push it. And then we're going to have Rusev crush you. Because he's looking like a beast right now. And it's an interesting situation. It's weird. But it's going to make Rusev look really good at the end. Because he needs to look good after coming back after a year and a half of struggles. Especially when he backed the U.S. Championship recently at Extreme Rules. Question number 4. What will go down between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins tonight? I would have this higher on the top questions that needs to be answered tonight on Raw. But since there's a lot of more high-profile questions, and the booking for this feud is kind of lackluster, I kind of said in my video, my Raw review last week, looking back on it, about the segment involving Rollins and Reigns. I thought it was a decent way to keep both guys injury-free, with the mind games being played. But in the end of the day, it was kind of stupid and boring looking back on it. A lot of people made fun of the segment. Hopefully they get some more physical and not as much bullshit as last week. They tried to make these guys injury-free, because I mentioned last week that they've had these guys set to wrestle 2 times, and one or the other got injured. Both times. They were supposed to face up. 2014, Reigns injured. Last year, Wild got injured. So hopefully these two can stay injury-free. I know they're trying to do it just to keep them injury-free, but try to make the feud interesting in the meanwhile, not make it stupid and boring like it was last week. And otherwise, okay, well, SmackDown was way better this past week. I'm not kidding. It was the first time I watched SmackDown. I was actually better than Raw. Had a better women's match with no bullshit ending. And better match in general. Making SmackDown look really good, especially going into the brand split with it being live. It could be like the old days of the brand split. SmackDown will be better than Raw. See what happens there. Question number 3. Will there be any new matches being added to the pay-per-view for Money in the Bank? We know the Money in the Bank match, which I'll get to in a minute. Reigns and Rollins trying to make as much good booking of it as possible. That's the main event of Money in the Bank. We got the match signed that we all wanted to see. AJ Styles against John Cena. I'll get to that in a second. That was made over the weekend. Maybe we get a Rusev Titus O'Neil match. I've heard rumors of a women's Money in the Bank. But we shall see. So see if the new matches being added tonight. Question number 2. Will there be a 7th man in Money in the Bank ladder match? Well, it's supposed to be 7 guys, and the 7th guy, graphic guy, took it off. Maybe the 7th spot was reserved for either Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt to return. But nothing happened last week. It's just 6 guys as of now. It'll be Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose, and Alberto Del Rio. Basically, I want anybody but Del Rio or Jericho to win. I would be fine if Cesaro, Owens, Cesaro, Owens. Sorry, I'm fumbling here. I would mind if Cesaro, Owens, Zayn, or Ambrose. I don't care if any of those 4 wins. I don't care. Just one of those 4, not Jericho or Del Rio. So, will there be a 7th man? Will it be revealed tonight, or is it still going to stay 6th? We shall see. Let's get closer to the pay-per-view. Question number 1. What will go down with the club tonight in their feuds with John Cena and the New Day? Well, after initially spinning off 2 weeks ago, it was all a ruse as AJ and the club, Gallows and Anderson, dominated Raw, with the New Day being taken out by Gallows and Anderson, starting a feud for the Tag Team Championships, which would be awesome. New Day needs some viable opponents, and boy, do they got a viable opponent in the club. Unoriginal name, but they gotta go with it. And now with AJ taking out John Cena, the feud is going to culminate with the Money in the Bank match. You know, a match at Money in the Bank. I even said this, I'm not the only one fearing about the burial. We use the term burial loosely and wrongly. But, you know, you can't blame us. Because we don't want AJ to lose to Cena. He lost to Reigns twice. And he can't lose to Cena. Losing to Reigns twice is almost as bad as losing to Cena twice. As I said in my Raw review last week. Happened to Owens, but he's soon recovered. He's in the Money in the Bank ladder match this year. Making his debut since he was in a match with Cena last year at the pay-per-view. So, we'll see what kind of interactions will Cena and AJ have tonight and the club. We could have like a 6-man tag or something with Cena and the New Day taking on AJ and the club. That could happen either this week on Raw or next week. But no matter how the interaction pans out, I expect some sort of interaction with AJ and Cena in the club and also New Day tonight on Raw at 8, 7 Central on USA Network. That is it for my Atak Sportz. Stay tuned tonight for my Raw review. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the sports news from Zach. See you later. Yeah.